Good evening and happy Tuesday evening. I'm Rob the accountant. I like to help people build companies while finding solutions to whatever problems may come your way. Talk to me live on Twitch whenever I'm online. I'm still working on the hours. Questions, ideas, whatever. Let's talk. I hope everyone's doing well tonight. Been an interesting day for me. Probably stop saying so much. In any event, I had to go to a DOT physical today. I was late in renewing my med card, and as such, I am probably going to get whacked by the state of New York. Another $200 for a license. I'm not really sure I understand that. Now, in fairness, it expired January 19th, and I've just been busy, and appointments are a little bit delayed. I could have probably found one, but I like the people I go to. They're really nice. So I went and did that, and while that was getting done, I had to get my vehicle inspected because I live in New York, and they make you pay for everything. So they want to make sure your car is operating within certain conditions, and I think safety is important, but there's so many vehicles that don't have anything, so sometimes, you're like, why do it for everybody else? So, the other anomaly that's been happening is more and more people are wanting to see me and take time. And, what's different between going to an H&R Block or, a franchise, a Jackson Hewitt or a Liberty Tax or any of those places is, I don't know if you're going to see the same people from year to year. They're really a process-oriented companies. They shut down generally when taxes are done. Some divisions might still be open, but they're really primarily engaged in taxes. And so, but for me and most other accountants and CPAs and enrolled agents and attorneys, it's a very hands-on process, and people want to have conversations with you. And I don't think it's wrong to say that there are a couple times in life that people open up to other people. Always when there's death or illness in the family, people are always going to open up and talk to other people. They're grieving. There's a position there. And then the other time is people's money, how they feel. How do I feel about what I'm paying? Am I getting my value's worth? Is this right for what, I perceive the services to be for this level of taxation? And in that regard, it's been hella depressing lately. It's just demoralizing. And if you've got a heart, and everybody has struggles, so it's not one struggle is greater than the other. But when you really look at how much money has been consumed by inflation, and now, Uncle Joe and Uncle Sam want their piece, it's just, there's not much left for anyone. And so I was going to say that, most folks who are online content creators, and I don't really feel I fit into that category. I have a business. I have a career outlook. I'm not really sure career is outlook for my role, but, I have a journey that I want to map. I want to take some people along with me. I want to help other people. So it's not necessarily problematic work for me, so to speak. So, but it makes you look back on what I have personally and how fortunate I am. And I don't have a lot. I always tell people that I don't have a lot, but I do have command of my time. And I think that's important. I think everybody should have command of their time. So got through all that, and after meeting a couple folks and get home, the day's gone. And so we've got to continue that, or I've got to continue that tomorrow and Thursday. And so by the time I'm actually going to get down to do any work, it's going to be real late night when I can have some quiet time. And so for me, this it's eating my stream time during the weekday. So I want to reschedule it at night. And it's good for me. because it allows for some type of decompression. I personally will say this over and over and over again. There has to be some manner, some means. Send the standard deduction up to $50,000, $75,000, but fundamentally, there's really no reason to whack people as much as people are getting whacked. And I think that there's a level of people who have the resources that maybe can sustain it a little bit better. But I'll tell you, I've seen some of these folks with heavy resources, and they lose an unbelievable amount. I mean, I wouldn't even complain for some of the tax bills I've seen of over $100,000. And you say, oh, well, they're better off, and they make money. Well, I don't see you giving up 50% of what you make. That's just the stupidest argument in the world. It's always been a dumb argument. Somebody works harder, somebody invests money, somebody puts their life, their family, their whole organization on hold to pursue something without knowing whether they're going to win or lose. And if they lose, they can lose big and take everybody down. And now in the world that we live in, it's such an emotional complex. You got children and family members and everybody else is going to be disappointed in you. So it's just not an easy task if you don't really have the willpower to get out there and grind it out every day. And so I think what happens for me personally, what I see is that people want to do something, but by the time they jump in and they get taken advantage of by all the snakes who see them coming and know they're new and know what they don't know, you're $100,000 in the hold for a build out. You're 3 years contract on a lease or something, and by the time that you get to the part of enjoying it, you just burn out. There's nothing there left. So, this is my day. It's not very eventful. It's rather boring, but it consumes a lot of time. I'm happy for the folks that I get to interact with. But I want to also jump in and change the direction just a moment here because I live in New York. I mentioned that, and we just got some weird shit that is backwards. And so let's just jump on it and see what we can do. All right. So I really don't. I'm not a big person. I like Drudge. I like Matt Drudge. I liked the Huffington Post when Ariana owned it, but I want to start with this right here. Okay. I don't know what. I think everyone understands. I'm probably center left, and I'm probably a Democrat at the end of the day, right? But I don't understand this. We have no district attorneys in the state of New York who are really prosecuting anything, and I'm not for people to jump all over me, but disconnect on what the people demand versus what the elected officials who went to office do. And so it's rather sad. You can go to any of the upstate cities and, there's businesses there and there's bars on all the businesses. It's not indicative of people being bad. It's just there's always a few, and the few have the power to destroy so much. And so they make the whole neighborhood look like it's under an occupation for the masses, right? For all the people who want to take their children to the park, who want to play basketball on the court. These are just non-existent things that are just going away because the political leaders in New York, for some reason, There was a couple bad bail cases, and I'm totally an advocate for having fair and equitable bail hearings. But what they do is they allow people to commit crimes and then not have really any immediate consequence. There might be a consequence 3 or 4 years down the road when the process is done, but at the moment there's no consequence. And so it's kind of weird, because if you're a lawful abiding citizen, you have one way that you operate and act. And if you are more of the criminal intent or criminal ideology, or just I'm not part of that system, then you're going to operate in a completely different environment, right? So that's why gun laws are stupid, because people who use guns in crimes don't generally get legal guns, right? So that's an oxymoron. Who does that? I am going to go rob the bank, and let me stop by Walmart with their 500,000 cameras in their store and march in there and get the shotgun that I'm going to rob the bank with. Yeah. See, so these things don't make sense. But here, I thought we litigated the Stormy Daniels. Look, I voted for Trump the first time. I voted for Biden the second time. Just going to put it out there. I'm very disappointed that Trump could not bring his character in line with being president of the United States. That's really my biggest beef. You know, you represent us. Have some class. You don't represent 10% of the population. You represent the whole population. But whatever happened with that whole thing was already litigated in the first election. And the people chose. They chose Trump. And you know, I don't think you get a second bite at the apple. Like, I don't know what you want. What are you trying to shoot for here, Biden? I mean, first of all, the Manhattan DA needs to go clean up his own backyard first and worry about it. And we're going to get into that. But I want to just ask the left, what do you want? Because if you seek to go down this road, then you're making the United States of America a despot country. Is that what we're going to say? A despot country, yes. A country similar to Venezuela, Russia, and China. Really, that's what you want to compare yourself to, right? You're so desperate for a fucking win. You want to be compared to Putin? How about Mao? How about Napoleon? That's what you want? Because at the end of the day, everybody can speak their words. I'm not really sure the president's subject to any less of a freedom of speech, which is prosecution for what you say by the government, despite what everybody else thinks, right? Because Google censors your shit all day long on YouTube. Facebook censors your shit. Twitter censors your shit. They all censor your shit, right? But, you know, big government, right? You're worried about them. But I would think still Donald Trump as the individual or president would be entitled to the same fucking freedoms that you and I are, which means you can talk fucking shit about the government. Fuck you, right? And they can't do shit about it. This little piece of shit DA who can't clean up his own fucking backyard. What are you going to do here? What does this accomplish? I mean, really, you going to put him on trial? What? By who? Who in New York? Who in New York City is going to give this guy a shake? There's people who've been waiting. There's people outside protesting. First of all, I don't really understand that stuff. I mean, if you want to protest about motherfuckers getting arrested, I can point you to a lot of fucking jails right now where there's some people who are being arrested who probably don't deserve to be arrested. So why don't you take your fucking signs and go find all those people, right? But where are we as a people where we're like, you know, fucking arrest them? Who does this shit? and not to be that guy, but I mean, up here in upstate New York, Rochester, we got a couple of them, real brave ones, right there on the TV, throwing glass and breaking through windows and fucking shit, and they should be prosecuted. But I watched what Trump said that day, and I have my own views, and it's sketchy. I thought he was going to say, excuse me, let's all walk down to the Capitol and protest this and make Congress do their job. But, he didn't walk with them. It's fine. He doesn't have to. But he didn't tell anybody to go break in, beat up people. And you can't claim to understand a person's state of mind. The only thing anyone can say about Donald Trump is he seems to be more about himself than others, and that's okay. And through his greed, he's enacted some policies that have actually helped the masses. Win, lose, or draw. And the fundamental fact is it doesn't matter how many Wikipedia edits you make or how many times in the book, Nixon is still in the fucking history books. He's still a fucking president of the United States. So I think it's been 2 fucking years, and hate or love somebody, but come on, dudes of the world, what are you doing? This is idiotic. And you have a DA that isn't doing his job anyways. So let's go on and talk about that, right? So this is where I was going to be with my last point on it. But you know what? I somebody's got to pay the lawyer bills, right? All right. So yeah. So it's one more thing he's gonna capitalize on. Okay, politics costs money, folks. It always has. But this, I agree with this. Like this, and let's take a look at why. All right. And Senator Rand Paul, you gotta love him. He's always for not advocating in everybody else's world affairs, but he's got no problem advocating in other states' affairs. But he's right on this point. It really is. I mean, first of all, I've been accused of certain things lately, so I want to be very nice to everybody. But there are some inequities that are blaring in the criminal justice system that we should deal with, right? I don't think Mr. Trump is one of those inconsistencies in the criminal justice system. I don't think he's actually ever done anything to hurt that position, right? He's never been a DA. My understanding, he's never been a police officer. He's done nothing, in my understanding, to restrict anyone's actual rights, right? Short of what is allowed in the legislative process, which, because we're all subject to laws, so I don't want to get into that. And, him saying to go protest and everything is just, I don't think anyone's going to do that again. I think that's kind of ridiculous. I think he's, whatever. But it just, what for? What's the charge? He paid a hooker. Okay. I was talking. I hate comparing Democratic leadership, whose name always seems to be known, against Republican leadership, because Buffalo has elected 2 congressmen, Buffalo, New York, that have been complete crooks. Okay, and one of them is still fighting his federal sentence. Okay. There's something wrong that when you're a member of the House, you go in there on a $180,000 salary and you come out as a millionaire. Generally, I was having this conversation today. Generally, if you make $40,000 a year and an extra $10,000 appears in your bank account and your only place is of your employer, sooner or later somebody's going to think you're stealing, or maybe you're doing something other than a nefarious act or something. But they would notice that you keep making more money outside of your actual wages, right? But in the Congress, which they're all W-2, by the way. They all get a W-2. They all get Social Security. They all get the best freaking health care in the world, okay? And so their wages are set by their employer, us, the people who send them there. So can any one of us explain exactly how they raise millions of dollars and have millions of homes? Well, not millions of homes, but a few homes. How functionally do they do that? Are they consulting on the side? So maybe the next time we demand the future president's tax return, there's 535 members of Congress. It's not a lot of people, right? Maybe yearly, all of them should post their tax returns online so their constituents can see what they're doing, and their constituents can see what they're investing in, and their constituents can see how they're using the legislative process to enrich their friends and their downline spigots. I'm not anti-government. I love the process of the government that's been set here for the people. But we all seem to be sending complete morons to do the job. And so you got to either take the incentive away, the money. Maybe they just go work for $50,000 a year. What's the problem with that? I thought originally the members of the House work for free, and they met in Congress 4 times a year. I'm pretty sure that's how it went, right? And so what we need to do as a whole is not get all bent out of shape about abortion or people's gun rights. What we need to all start doing is collectively focusing on making sure that the representatives that we're sending there are enacting processes that put more money in our pocket and help for the development of the people back home. I mean, we could name a lot of them, and they eat well. They go everywhere. They got security. I don't begrudge, because it just seems all stupid anyways. Like, if you need all that to feel important in life, so be it. Some people are just happy to have life. Other people are happy with just having an apartment and being left alone. So I think that's what you just do, is let people do what they need to do. But you have to ask if you're going to go after the president. Or, yeah, he's still the president. I know how we like to call him the ex-president, but we don't ever refer to any of the other presidents as ex-presidents. They were the presidents. So he just lost his second election, as did George W. I'm sorry, George W. George H.W. George the Elder George lost his second election to Bill Clinton. So we didn't call him an ex-president. We give him his title that it is. But here we are. Take a look at it and ask yourself, what are we doing and why? Why does he get to I'm checking my chat now. Why does he get to make decisions that are outside of his bounds? And where's the statute of limitations and all this? And where's the crime and the where's all that written on the books? Where do we see it? We don't. So it's just amazing. I don't get it. And this is somebody who went to law school. People should look at President Lincoln. Interesting that he was a lawyer by the time I think he was 21, 22. A real big disconnect for law schools. They're all jumping in, So I wanted to start, and I'm jumping all over the place, and that's fine. Irony. That's how I explain this, is irony. Irony. They peg the guy with the Russian stuff. Listened through that for 2 or 3 years to nothing. Completely fizzled out. He barely lost his election by 1 or 2 percentage points in the same critical battleground states that Hillary lost to him. So you're not having a problem. But here, this is the one that you want to. I don't know about this guy too. Like, why him? Like, I never understood. I thought we fought an American Revolution to get away from England, not allow their shock jocks to question. I don't know why anybody would go and talk to Pierce, who's an American. And I don't know if he's an American or whatnot, but his representation is clearly not in line with, being nice to Americans. I'll tell you that. He can go bother other people, but first of all, Ron DeSantis was, I don't like when they say he was made by Trump. He went to the same Ivy League schools. He's a Northeasterner. That's the truth of it. He's a wealthy guy. There's nothing wrong with that. But they want him to take, on Trump. And I'm going to tell everyone, I think he'll lose, personally. But who wants a guy like Ron DeSantis? I call him Tyrant Ron. Who wants Tyrant Ron governing the books you read? I mean, this guy's the pits. He goes after Disney, takes their tax break away. And then when he realizes it's going to cost all the residents of Florida $1 billion, they quietly go give it back. I mean, is that what government's supposed to do? It doesn't like your position, and it tries to destroy you? I mean, so I thought all these people were, and we were speaking of inoculations and shots, that it was, free body, free mind, free soul. But here, this guy, he bans books. Do you understand? He bans books, people. Books. All right. And for what? If you don't want your kid to read something, don't let them read it. If you don't want your kid to go to school and learn crap you don't want them to learn, don't send them to school to learn it. Teach them yourself. It just whatever. But they're jumping all over it, and trying to make everybody look presidential, right? They're just people. They're just people. And this is the problem I tell Democrats here is, I don't like Ron, but 50-year-old face to 80-year-old, whatever. I mean, it's going to be a bloodbath, people. It's just going to be a bloodbath. And I just am disappointed because at the end of the day, all this does is it makes us look bad. We're the ones that look terrible. We look like we don't have our shit together. We look like we put idiots in power. And sometimes we do. But I think what happens more often than not is that what really happens is people are so concerned back to why I came on tonight and why I'll be back. Because it's death and taxes. Death and taxes. There's your thumbnail. Death and taxes. When money and people go to work and struggle and put time and effort in every day, and then you got these clowns. They're all clowns. They don't care. And what's this power? What? So you get to go with a 16 armor card thing. You never get to drive your car again. You get to what's the power? You get to go sit and talk with Xi and all these things. Ooh, Uh, that's not a dumb question, but yeah, I don't think so on that one, sir. You would have to look into that one. I would research it for you, but I'm not. I'm sorry on that one. I think that one you might be lost on. So there have to be a host of things that you would do, maybe above the 2.5%, but there are conditions, but I don't know what the nature of that condition of that would be. Some people say they get scammed when they go to the racetracks and they lose all their money. And other people say they get scammed when they put all their money in the lottery machine. So I don't know if you're a victim of a crime, then there are things that are there. I just don't know what the extent of the deductibility or how that would pan out for you in a monetary sense, so to speak. I think it's a dumb question, though. Wish I could be more helpful. I don't know. Trump seems to write off all his stuff. Okay. I would just, if you Google IRS publications, you can get to their library. No, it's not gonna. IRS. And you come here. See if it's appearing on my site. There it is. All right, and you can just search here. And I think you might want to tailor your word scam. I don't know if you want to use that word. Maybe victim, monetary loss, a theft. I just don't know if the word scam would be within the tax code. So, I mean, that's all I can give you on that one. Good luck. They definitely make so with all the apps, I think I don't use any apps. Okay, personally, I like my checking account. It works. It's protected by Visa and MasterCard, and I don't want to give someone direct access to my checking account via an ACH or automatic clearinghouse withdrawal process. When you use Zelle, Cash App, or any of these apps, what you're actually doing is providing the live routing number and checking account number to your account. Therefore, what you're doing is no longer a consumer to business transaction. It's more a peer-to-peer transaction. And once you change the definition, then your ability to protest on that and to recover what has been taken wrongfully against you becomes that much more difficult. And so I know a lot of people don't like PayPal, but the majority of people that I know that don't like PayPal are the people who were either on the scamming end of it or on the scamming side of it. But if you are insistent on using an app, and I'm not even really a big fan of Apple Pay or Google Pay. Be honest, Google's the last thing I want near any of my bank accounts. Okay, I'm gonna be honest with you on that. No, Google gets credit cards. That's what they get from me. That can protest because they'll drain your bank account before you even blink. So if you want a legitimate, and they're all legitimate, but if you want one that's more protected than the others, it's Zelle. And your bank usually is trying to get you to use that. And so if you see, anyways, it is the major banks that are behind it. And, they create a new LLC. And this is what we talk again about. How corporate America effectuates further downline businesses for itself, under further guises. See, so the banks are already regulated by the Treasury, right? So there's a certain divisional line that they're allowed to operate in. And then, they have their investment side over here. But, they just can't help being greedy. And so they can't allow other people to encroach, which is Cash App, and I don't even know the other one. Some of the cards that you see at the Green Dot and some of the Green Pay cards that you see at Walmart and Target. So they just create their own thing, and they just know that they have, the amount of money. If you just look at these, the size of these folks, we're talking. Look at this, trillions of dollars. Look at that. It's just amazing. Okay. So they're just going to wait it out. That's what I say to everybody. You know what you should do? You go find a key sector. So when you say has the issue came up often, the issue where I live, there's a radio station called 1180 Wham. iHeartRadio. There's a morning gentleman named Bob Lonsberry. He's a retired veteran, and he frequently gets calls in the community from younger siblings. And I say that, I mean like 60-year-old siblings who are calling because their mother or their father is a victim of somebody online, and it's more psychological. And so they try to use some of the resources of the local law enforcement. I know that a couple occasions they went to the lady's house, and they really did. But sometimes it depends on the nature of what we define as a scam. I feel like anybody trying to take something that they haven't rightfully earned is a scam. So with that regard, it happens all the time. With regards to your specific situation online, yeah, I mean, schools get shut down all the time because somebody opens a link and they get hijacked by a keylogger or a key code. And what we have is we have a U.S. government that does nothing to protect the end user. They've got the U.S. Patriot Act that requires everybody who owns a bank to spy on you and your bank account, and they make all your telecom providers listen to your phones on the point of access where they dial out. But if you get ripped off online on YouTube, or the Nigerian scammer gets a hold of your routing number through a phishing scheme, there's just really been little recourse for any of that. So yes, lots of that, but not in the question of, can I do something about it on my taxes? I think most people just assume that it's a loss and they're going to take it as a loss. But I'm going to look into it now. This is a question you brought up. I don't see why not. And, the good thing I will say about the U.S. government is they have an Office of General Counsel for the IRS. And so if you're kind enough with, an email that's not, spammed, and you put the question to them, they will actually answer it and point you to the right publication as well. So I'm going to look through the same links I sent you, but if I can't find it, my next step will be, for me as a practitioner, I'll reach out to the Office of General Counsel. But for somebody who's a consumer, it would be best for you to reach out to the IRS taxpayer advocate, and they would be able to provide more what I would call bankable information. And they really are a good organization. They try to assist where they can. And so I know there was an example of a mother who she got the father took up the taxes on the tax return, and she was really expecting it, and it was going to cause a financial harm to her. And so she called the taxpayer advocate, and where there had been a delay between the two, one parent lawfully claiming the child and the other parent not lawfully claiming, the advocate was able to get in, and they weren't able to change the back process of the IRS, but they were able to expedite the payment of that process to her in a much quicker realm. I think she still waited another week or two, but she would have been waiting 10 to 12 weeks if it went on there on her own. So if you I don't know if my page flipped back, but did I jump off of it? The taxpayer advocate right here is taxpayer advocate, irs.gov. and they're really helpful. Um, it's just you might have to take your time, but I think in the regard in that situation, as long as you have some, I don't know what to say about this police report thing, because this happens a lot for people where they call the police and they don't they don't want to come do the police report. But the rules say that if you go down to the district attorney, you're allowed to swear out a statement or an affidavit to the district attorney. Whether they take that affidavit and are able to present it to law enforcement as a prosecuting instrument is one thing, but I think we forget sometimes as a country as a whole, there's multiple sides to the law. When we're dealing with the police, we're dealing with the police on a law enforcement position, and so they're reacting. And, so even if they were to arrest that person or to write up the police report, they're going to simply transfer it over to the DA anyways from prosecution. So I always find that if it's a serious situation, I feel anything over $50 is a serious situation for me. So I'm just qualifying the dollar value. And I have a police officer that doesn't want to help me, then I'm going to go to my local district attorney and I'm going to swear out a statement that can be used as a prosecuting instrument if that culminates into something downline. You get what I'm saying? So it's just it's a waiting game on this kind of stuff. It's a waiting game, but if you set up all the dice, maybe on a pinball machine where you got all the dice and they're trying to get them down and get past your little paddles. You're creating all those little obstacles and you got the paddles. So as long as you keep the ball going and follow through with everyone and get everybody else to do their job, you'll get the instrument you need to maybe make your case before the IRS on deductibility. Because I feel like that there is a theft in collateral. Like if you have a catastrophic loss relative to real property, there are deductibilities. So do we classify cash as real property? I don't know, but I'm just saying, you're just trying to find a stretch. So if they have a catastrophic position for real property that provides tax relief, then there's got to be some other type of relief in there. It's just knowing where the word is and where it's embedded and how to find it might be the issue at the moment. So much legality. A bank holding company is a company that controls one or more banks but does not engage in banking itself. The compound Bank Corp is often used to refer to these companies as well. What they really do is they own all the stock of all the companies within their holdings. So it's just one more way to keep you and me from getting to them. That's what all these intricacies are set up for, to provide stability to the market. Can't always have a stable market if everybody has the means to protest and sue for $1 million on every single transaction. So there has to be some regulatory framework. But I personally don't understand all the apps. You know, I mean, you can do this now. It's called a money wire. It's called a money order. It's called a check. You know, we just keep inventing stuff. For what reason? Just more ways to make a couple bucks. And it's your money. You're the one putting it all in there. So I'm really I'm not a Trump supporter. But I'm asked myself over and over again, what do we do? I mean, Biden doesn't want to yield. I just don't think Kamala Harris she's just not right for me. She might be right for some other people. But he's not right for me. So then what do we do? What do we do about it? You know, what do we got Trump and Biden again. Inflation or chaos. Inflation or chaos. That's a wonderful choice, right? Does anyone have peace in there? Can anyone just say, hey, can we get some peace? Some peace and quiet. So I am curious, though. I want to see, to me, everyone says, well, you talk a lot about Trump and all that, but why do I want to sit there and listen to my side talk all day long? I already know what I believe for my side. It's people before profits. It's always been that way for me. All that other stuff I don't know about. That's their goofy shit. But you shouldn't just occupy your space around people you agree with every day. That's not smart. You should know what the other side is doing. But this is going to be his problem right here, this guy right here. Because Trump's a dude, right? So all this crap you guys are talking about, you know he's got 3 wives and a whole bunch of kids. And yeah, he has 3 wives. Yeah, So what exactly are we saying here? What's his character? He likes women? Okay. Yeah. So the character is he paid $130,000 to make a story go away. So let's see, Harvey Weinstein, R. Kelly, let me see, Ben Rottenberger from the Pittsburgh Steelers. I better be careful with him because, certain people get away with way different shit than other people. But what's the other one? From the football, the Texans. He's another one. So, I mean, what? All these guys, doing what? Just being pigs? That's the crime? Okay. Well, I would rather have, I don't want any of that forceful stuff, okay? But, I would rather have Trump with his 3 wives than a guy banning books and going after Disney because he doesn't like what they say. I thought the whole freedom of speech was the protection of everyone from government repercussions based on said speech, right? And here, this guy does not believe in that. So, these are the 3 choices. Oh, and he's just horrible. I can't even... Biden, Trump, or DeSantis. We're all fucking going to hell, people. Just want you guys to know that we're all going to hell. Just was just asking ourselves to just shoot ourselves in the foot, one of those things. So maybe there's enough pushback on the DA in Manhattan, but I just don't understand. He doesn't want to prosecute anyone who's a victim of violent crime, but he wants to prosecute you for being a victim of words and money. So you're arrested because he paid off the girl. Isn't that what political donations are? Wait, here's the reality. Pete Buttigieg, what do you have, $192 million in his war chest when he conceded the race? Where's that money go, folks? I mean, where's it go? It's $192 million. You can help other candidates with their elections. You can buy food for other candidates' elections. You can buy nice cars for other candidates' elections. You just can't use that $192 million to enrich yourself. But it can go to pay your legal bills and your staff and your hot staff chick over here. And if you're George Santos, I don't know. You maybe have a hot chick and a hot dude. You got both because you don't know what you need, because you don't know what you are, because you lie about everything. So who knows what that guy is, okay? There's no puns intended there. He's just, this is what we need to fix, people. So I want people to jump on and get out of the information lane of working hard every day and putting all your time in to be on the bottom of the scale. If you like working hard already and you're a hard worker and you get up every day and you go put your time in, there is no reason for you not to be putting your time into something else that possibly might help you be wealthy tomorrow. There's not one reason. If you're complaining about taxes, you're complaining about not having enough money, you're complaining about gas, you're complaining about Biden, you're complaining about Trump, then you have to do something. And there's so few people who want to do anything that such a small percentage of you could change the dynamics of your life with less than $5,000. And I'm just waiting for somebody to ask me to show them how. And I'll give you one example. In New York State, I believe the liquor store license, absent the rent of the store and the lease, is about $3,000. That's what it costs to get your license. You have to have a storefront, and you should be able to afford that storefront for a few months, 3 to 5 months, while that license is pending. If you get everything wrapped up and you have everything filled out and completed, and you rent the place and get everything done on day one, you probably can expect that whole thing to be done in about 90 days. So there's a cost assumption with that. So we just said $3,000 for the license. And there's an assumption of whatever the rent is, and that could be whatever the variable is. So on the low end, it could be $500. On the high end, it could be $10,000. Who knows? Whatever your market supports. So we're just trying to stay in the $5,000, $6,000 range. So 2-3 months of rent, whatever it is, and license. And then wherever you are, if you do some research and you understand the neighborhood and the market that you're in, what type of income people make, what type of drinks people buy relative to that income, if you actually put some time and effort into this research, you don't have to open up with $50,000 worth of inventory. You can buy 10 cases with 12 bottles. And if you've done enough research, that could be enough, because what you're forgetting about in this equation is there are people that want to see beautiful, brand new everything I can't go in that store unless it is 100% complete. It's stacked to the rim, and I'm getting overcharged and overpriced on everything. There's some people like that, but the majority of people in that neighborhood are going to be like, oh, there's a new store here. And then they walk in, and your store is clean, it's well lit, and you give great customer service, and you try to make it work. You say, oh, you're new, yeah. You have very little inventory. Sure. Is there something here that I don't have right now that maybe I could get you so that maybe the next time you come in, I can have it here for you? Maybe they said, I'll look around. You got 12 different types of liquor. Maybe one of those is, and if you've done your research right and you've looked at your market, which is the first half-mile vicinity of your store, and see who is in walking distance and what their economic conditions are, then you will have established at least a benchmark for a few sales. And now you can take those sales and step them into other sales. And it won't be the first year that maybe you see that store completely filled up, or that it even makes you more than $10,000 for the first year that you actually put in your pocket. But it gives you the ability to work for something for tomorrow. And if you're going to go put the time in for somebody else who's going to shit on you, make you feel like crap, yell at you, tell you when you can go on vacation, when you got to plug in, when you got to plug out, there's a million of little things that you can do. I know in the state of Massachusetts, they virtually eliminated county government. There are still some county governments, but for a majority of them, they're eliminated. They've regionalized everything. And it makes for less cost for schools because you don't need as many. So if you look at real things that we can do to reduce the taxability of our wages and our property taxes, maybe we could start by stop demanding so much shit. If every parent, which is a good thing, is going to take their kids to school every day, because you live in a wealthy neighborhood, then maybe you don't also need to buy buses for the per chance day mom or dad misses dropping the kids off. Maybe the kids know how to ride the bike home or walk home and do so in a manner where they're able to defend themselves or have the means to deal with any kind of encroachment by any third party seeking to do them harm. So there are things that we can do. So that's all I keep trying to tell people is do you, and ask more questions. I think that if the Manhattan DA moves forward with this, all this would be doing is this. This is why you don't want Ron DeSantis as president, people. Because when you elect somebody and the people at large send him to do a job, this guy didn't do anything. He was doing what his constituents asked of him. And so what we have to be careful of is, is this a tit for tat? The one difference here is Governor DeSantis has domain over the prosecutors of the state of Florida. Alvin Bragg does not have jurisdiction over the president of the United States. He's usurping a lot of power to find jurisdictional cause to charge him. And it's interesting that it's a DA out of a city. Think about that, folks. Think about that. It's a district attorney out of a city considering arresting a past president of the United States of America. We should all be ashamed. Whether you like the guy, whether you love the guy, whether you hate the guy, whether you think he's a rat, whether you think he should never run again, no matter what you think, he's a fucking American. He's entitled to the same rights we are. And the people already decided. And we don't let one person, just like we don't want Trump with the January 6th overturning everything, right? One person doesn't get to make these decisions. And really on the January 6th thing, the thing that I just can't get my hand around, besides all those people being complete idiots, I'm sorry, just complete fucking idiots. All right, it was, what were you going to do on day 2? Okay? Day 3. Washington, D.C. isn't even a fucking state, okay? It's a district. It has no constitutional authority. It sends no representatives to the House. It is the District of Columbia, okay? So it's surrounded by 50 states, not literally, but in practical sense. So, okay, you overtook every government building. You know there's National Guards in 50 states. There's state police in all 50 states. There's duly elected sheriffs of every county of all 50 states. What are you guys going to do? Nobody thought. Just because a few people can rouse people who might not know no better, or they're just in a state of a mob thinking, is not representative of everybody there. There's always the people in the group who cause the chaos to make it go boom. And I think there was the same thing there. I don't know who was pulling the strings on there. I know Trump could have helped diffuse it, and he chose not to. So he could have diffused it. There could have been ways where it didn't have to evolve into all those chaos. But maybe if people hadn't rivaled up all those people, and when I mean the people, I'm talking about all the news channels and the internet and all the radio frequencies that are supposed to be regulated, that allow Verizon to come out with 5G and AT&T to come out with 5G, and all these people that have the control of what you see, what you read, what's on your phone, when your phone's telling you what to do, when it tells you when to type, when to wake. But you rattle a group of people for what? What was the purpose of that? There's no need for any of that. And nobody clearly thought out day 2, 3, 4, or 5. So to me, it's just a bunch of idiots just getting caught up in idiocy, okay? And so, I mean, if you can't be the district attorney in New York State, in New York City, who locks up people who do physical harm to other people, then you shouldn't be looking for 5-year sentences for a few Americans that got caught up in a moment and lost their way and really didn't do a whole lot to anybody. There's a damage. It's building and property. And I know there's been plenty of cases in life where people like me have building and property has been a near-death sentence. But we're not talking about that. We're talking about that day and whether the state of all those people deserve their rights not being enshrined. And so this is one more of those ways that I always say that you can't be against Trump and he doesn't like precedent and the respect for institutions. And then you come over to our side and we're doing it 10x. We're actually doing it worse than their side because shit's gone to the weird shit here. So I think everybody in the country should really look at this, and I don't think anyone should protest, but I don't know anybody who should serve on a jury in New York City. That would be unfair. That would not be protecting the rights of the defendant and giving due process to the defendant, who just happens to be the president, the 45th president of the United States, right? So that's my take. It's going to be an interesting season. I already told everybody there's no reason to get angry about this stuff. What you need to do is get smart, ask questions, find your little niche, and come and talk to Rob the accountant. And I'll help you along the way. I promise. I hope everyone has a good night. I'll look forward to tomorrow night, provided my schedule goes well. And thanks for joining me. And have a good night.